Hey, everybody. Here we are with Darlene from Hello Darlene. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you, Paul?
Excellent. Thank you. I love the name of your new business, your new website. It literally is hellodarlene.ca. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about this new business.
Well, thank you, first of all, for allowing me to join this great venture. A little bit about my business. So I'm a newly retired banker, was in the industry for 34 years. And COVID definitely brought on a lot of challenges for seniors that I love and care about in my life. And so for me, it just really highlighted some of the needs in our community. And my personal journey just really helped me to identify some gaps in our community that I felt that I could help fill.
That's
So that's
awesome.
that's and you know what, I like creating things too. So I thought, well, it's time for a new adventure because why not?
So 34 years in the banking industry, so you retire from that, and then you pretty much immediately jump into a business.
Well, I waited almost a year.
Okay.
I
That's
waited
awesome.
almost a year, but I did actually take the time during COVID. During COVID, there were a lot of places that were offering education or courses at a reduced cost, and that's what happened. I joined the Professional Organizers of Canada. I've always had a love of being organized, everything organized, and so I thought I would do that for fun. And from there, the business just evolved. And so I got my accreditation at a reduced rate, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
at the same time, was able to learn so much about helping seniors through that organization as well. In addition to my background, so many years in banking, definitely I've been dealing with seniors. And
Yeah.
for me, it's the behind the scene things that I'm aware of, when you're talking about powers of attorney and executors and all these challenging things that I feel like I can really offer a service that will help people in advance of when they need all those things.
Yeah.
Because, our family has gone through quite a journey over the past couple of years, and we've learned tons about what to do and what not to do. And so I really want to share that knowledge with others.
That's awesome. So it's senior transition and organization. Tell me a little bit about the senior transition part of it, which is pretty much the main focus.
Yeah, so there's a couple of pieces to that. The first piece is just making sure to help not just seniors, but anybody, to make sure that they have their estate documentation in order. It's one of those things where you do a power of attorney or a will, and you've maybe done that 10 to 15 years ago, and you don't look at it again, and you have lots of life changes that happen. So what I offer is what's called legacy organization. It's a consultation. It's a 2-hour consultation. And within that period of time, we don't just look at those documents, but we organize all the important documents that you need. If at some point you have to hand over your wallet to a power of attorney, or an executor needs to take care of that. And at the end of the consultation, you end up actually with a binder. It's called a legacy organization binder. And it's a one-stop shop that either of those two parties would need. They would basically take that binder, and all the information they would need would be in there, and they can go to a bank or to a funeral home or what have you. And it's all right there, easy to find. So that's part one. Part two is really just helping seniors with those different transactions, whether they're going to age independently at home or
Right.
move to a retirement home or to another facility. So provide them with some insight on those processes. So do they need resources in the community to help them with cutting their grass in the interim? Or is it that they need help with finding out which retirement home is the right one for them? So that's another portion of the business. A third portion is just, I call it senior, walks and talks and tea. It's
Yeah, yeah.
exactly what it sounds like,
That's great.
if I would have had about, 2 years ago, somebody in the community that I could have reached out to go and check on my loved one while I was at work and just make sure, they were okay and spend a little quality time with them during the day. And so that's what I want to offer. It's either a cup of tea and a chat, or it could be doing a puzzle, some sort of cognitive activity, or an activity that includes physical exercise, such as a walk. Um, I am also part of the Professional Organizers of Canada, so I
Okay.
do organizing as well. That's the second half of my business, which would include decluttering, downsizing of seniors or anybody. Also helping people who are relocating to a home office from a work office and need help maybe with creating a space that is, more efficient for them. So I've kind of got all of those things on the go at the same time, but my focus is definitely seniors in our community and, the different ways that they need support.
What a great service. I know when my dad passed, it would have been nice to have this legacy binder that you're referring to. Even
Hmm.
though mom is still here, I mean, it was still a chore figuring it all out. Where is
Yeah.
everything? And
Hmm.
so I can really see where that would come in handy for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of times people have pieces of the document, all the documents that they have, but they don't have them all together. And what happens is it's getting all that information together and knowing what you need to bring to a bank or to any other organization when you're having to enact the authority that's been given to you. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of responsibility for those people. And the customers that I have dealt with already have really just felt so relieved at the end. And they've all found different things that they needed to amend or change as a result. They may have thought they were organized and had all the documents together and then realized, oh, this really big life event has happened in my life and I completely forgot about updating my will or power of attorney. So I'm not a lawyer. I refer everybody to a lawyer, an accountant, a financial planner, but I certainly have all of that experience to be able to know what direction to send them in. So yeah, so far it's kind of going exactly as I had planned, which is good.
It's
And
awesome.
yeah, so hopefully it will make it a lot less painful for those who are having to take over those jobs.
You're providing a very vital service. I mean, walks, talks, tea, organizing this booklet. I know my mom, she lives in our granny suite, and so we're always there with her, but I mean, it's lonely for them. So I mean, just
Yeah,
to be able to have someone come in and do a puzzle, have a tea, just a chat, I can really see the
yeah.
benefit to that.
Yeah, and oftentimes as well, it creates a lot of stress for the individual who's working. And to just have that reassurance that that person had lunch that day. And it depends on each individual situation. If somebody has a diagnosis of some kind of cognitive impairment, they may need different types of things than the person who is maybe just trying to age at home independently.
Right.
And I luckily enough have both those scenarios in my life.
Yeah.
So I've traveled both of those paths. And so I feel like I have a lot of insight, not only from my work experience, but from my personal experience.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah, so I feel like it's definitely a gap in the community. We have some, you mentioned it earlier, Paul, we have some amazing businesses in North Bay, but a lot of times it's all word by mouth. They are not very well known.
Right.
And there's not a lot of advertising for some of the businesses.
Hmm.
So sometimes, people need help figuring out what it is that they might need and who they can contact.
Right.
So yeah, that's one of my goals as well, is to try at some point to get all of these different kinds of organizations together
Yeah.
that
That's a
are
great idea.
related to seniors, to be able to coordinate, what does the community need, what's going on right now, what's the pulse of the senior community in North Bay. And that's a bit later, but
Yeah.
that's definitely a goal. So
Yeah. So when did you start the business? How long has it been?
oh, I just launched it I actually just launched it 2 weeks ago, but
Okay.
I've been formulating the plans
Yeah. Yeah.
during COVID actually, when I had the extra time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've done a ton of networking actually. During COVID, it was the perfect time to connect with people virtually or on the phone.
Yeah.
So I was able to learn about a ton of businesses in North Bay that offer PSW home care or meals at home or any of these other kinds of services that a lot of families need and don't necessarily know who to reach out to.
Right.
I have some connections with the Alzheimer's Society and some of the local retirement homes. So, yeah, so a lot of networking to see what was already out there and what the gaps might be.
That's awesome. The name, Hello Darlene, where did that come from? Was that you? Was it hubby? Who? How did you get that name?
Well, it was interesting. I have a friend actually that, a good friend that wanted to help me with launching my business, and she's in the marketing business.
Okay, cool.
And we threw around a lot of ideas, and this idea came up pretty early on in our planning. And at first I was shying away from it because it had my name in it. And then a very good friend of mine said to me, Darlene, you're known in the community for your volunteer work, for
Sure.
your financial industry. I am a co-founder of PaxX Smiles organization, so people know me through that as well. And she said to me, your name has value. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's it. That's
Yeah.
exactly why I want to have a business name with my name in it. And that's kind of when I decided that Darlene was going to be part of the business name. And I like it's a serious business, right? Like, so I
Yes.
wanted the business name to be a bit more playful if the business tagline was going to have to be a little bit more serious. So,
I think it's great. I mean, hey, hello, Darlene. It's awesome. I mean, that's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah, it's a good play on words.
So, how do people get a hold of you? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to hit your website? What's the best way?
So my website's going to be launched at the end of November. For right now, they can find me on Facebook at Hello Darlene. They can also find me by emailing me info@hellodarlene.ca, or they can also call me on my cell, which is listed on my Facebook page. And I do have a coming soon website landing page. So if they just type in hellodarlene.ca, it will bring them to all of that initial information on
Yeah,
how they can contact me. Yeah,
good. And it gives them a little bit of information on exactly what it is that you're trying to do.
yeah,
I'm excited. Listen, it's COVID. This is hopefully, it's going to go into our support local business Facebook page, because I know everybody in here wants to support local business. So it's all about getting as much exposure and eyeballs to all these incredible local businesses and talents. So congratulations on starting this up. This is awesome. Um, I think you're going to do extremely well. It's a perfect niche. We're all getting a little older. We all need a little help. Our parents are getting older. They need some help.
yeah.
So good idea. Great thought.
Thank you. My mom, who's 79, you know what she said to me? She said, Darlene, I'm a baby boomer. It's too late for me to fix what's going on with seniors. But
Yeah.
she said, it's up to your generation to have impact and do something. And you know what? She's 100% right. And
Yeah.
so she's definitely, part of my inspiration to make
Yeah.
it better for the next generation.
That's awesome. Darlene, thank you so much for hopping on. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk again.
Thank you so much, Paul. Have a great day.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.